Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And the other day I put up a poll on my YouTube community page where I asked you which build you wanted me to showcase next. And I gave you three choices: the sword and shield, the lance, or the hammer. And it seems that the Hammer Bros did unite because that was the winner of that particular poll. Now, if you want to participate in future polls that I make about which content is going to be coming out next, I'm not exactly sure how YouTube pushes this stuff onto your notifications, but probably the best way is to subscribe and turn the notifications bell on. At least it couldn't hurt, and maybe you'll be notified when I run my next poll so that you can have an influence on what the next content is that is going to show up on the channel. Anyway, moving onwards, hammer time. So when it comes to the weapon of this particular build, we are going to be using the Soulfire Heal Ruin. Now, I want you to understand something when it comes to my builds, and that is that I'm not necessarily going for the most meta playstyle. I'm going for what I consider to be the most fun playstyle of each weapon. And in this case, the main reasoning for picking out this weapon over anything else is the fact that it's got 2 slots. It also brings in haste and recovery, which is not the best healing skill, but it lets you be a little bit more brazen with your assaults against the monsters because, you know, if you take damage, not only are you going to have health regen on the weapon because that's what I augmented it with, but you're also going to have haste regen on top of it. And again, like I said, I also wanted to have the slots. It's also got decent wide sharpness on there. It's got a little bit of blast. You're not going to be getting that many procs with only 210 blast, but every now and then you'll get a little explosion into the monster, and you do get to hit them very often with your spinning bludgeon. So, you know, it is what it is. I think this weapon is a lot of fun. Again, it is not the most meta thing. Probably, if I wanted a more powerful weapon, I think I would have ended up using the Ruiner Nergigante hammer. In case you guys want to do a more powerful hammer build that's more around the meta, that's probably what I would go with. And even then, I think a lot of people will end up going with Acidic Glavenus because that's the be-all, end-all now. Just run Elementalist with Acidic Glavenus. And I'm just like, no, dude, I'm going to play Soulfire Heal Ruin because it's fun. So anyways, these sockets, we're going to put in 2 Tenderizer Jewels in there because I want to get Weakness Exploit. Now this build is going to be running earplugs, and the main reasoning behind that is because in Master Rank, monsters roar even more often than in friggin' high rank. Like I'm talking, I've had roar contests with certain monsters where they just roared like 6 to 8 times back to back non-stop, and your character's just sitting there like just getting staggered non-stop. It is insane. And because, as you guys know, Ironbreakers don't really use dung pods because, you know, we like to see the monsters fight. There's a lot of times where there's like 2, maybe even 3 monsters on screen and they're all roaring at each other. It can be really frustrating for a hammer user to basically power up his hammer and then just like lose the buff because some monster roared, right? So I wanted to have earplugs on this set because of that reason. It also allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with your openings, like you can open with a clutch claw attack because even if they roar, they're not going to flinch you off of them. So we're going to be running earplugs, and in the Diablos Narrow Hell beta, that is going to be where we're going to be putting there. Now, this is a tier 3 decoration slot, therefore if you have earplugs with something else that is better, make sure you get those. I unfortunately don't have any tier 4 earplug decorations yet, so therefore we're just going to use a tier 3 and kind of waste that socket a little bit, but it is what it is. Then we put in a Vitality Jewel because I like Vitality, like I made the video about Vitality and Stun Resists being 2 of the best skills in the game right now. So in this particular set, we're going to be going for Vitality because I wasn't able to slot Stun Resist as well as everything else that I wanted. So I ended up picking Vitality, right? Next up on the Diablos Male Beta, we're going to be using Drain and Expert Jewel. These are 2 skills that in my opinion are particularly important for the hammer, and I happen to have that particular decoration. If you don't have it, you have to pick. You're either getting Expert, or you're getting Drain, or you're getting something else that you find useful. But I would prioritize Drain over Expert. And I know not a lot of people are going to do that because a lot of people are focused on the meta. They want to crit. They want to deal damage. Me, I want to have fun with the hammer. And fun with the hammer is staggering monsters, is tiring them down, and just abusing whenever they go down. That's the way that I think about it. That's the way that I play the game. So next, we're going to be putting another Drain Jewel in there. Then we have the Shada Ishvalda Bracers Beta. That is because these are some really good bracers if you're looking to get critical boost, because just because I like having fun with the weapon doesn't mean that I also don't want it to hit hard. So I wanted to get 2 critical boost, and these gloves were the best way to do it. Next, we got the Diablos Nero Coil Beta. Naturally, as you guys can identify, we are going for the Diablos 3-piece bonus, which is the Secret Slugger. Because I want to get as much stagger as possible on the monsters. I mean, this is supposed to be the king of KO weapon, so naturally I'm going to lean into that as much as I can. And now we're using like one of the most meta weapons that you get early on in the expansion. Everyone should have this one, Expert Jewel +4 in there, and then we're going to put another Drain Jewel. Then on the Garuga Greaves Beta, which let me tell you something, throughout my sets I always like to identify good filler pieces. And Garuga Greaves, when it comes to a filler piece, like if you need something for your pants and you don't know exactly what you're using on your set, there's a good chance that Garuga Greaves is going to help you on your set because it's got so many sockets. Look at that. We got a tier 4 socket with 2 tier 2 sockets, and it still gives you 2 critical eye. Dude, it's a fantastic piece of gear. Anyway, on the Garuga Greaves, we're going to be putting KO/Vitality Jewel. I mean, this is pretty much a no-brainer for a hammer. I want to get Vitality. I definitely want to get KO. And then we're going to be putting in a Critical Jewel level 2 and a Tenderizer Jewel level 2. For a charm, we're going to be using the Earplugs charm because, like I said, I'm going to be running full earplugs to prevent getting flinched by roars and losing my hammer buff. And then on top of it, if you happen to be using Vitality Mantle, which is usually what I use for generic use with a hammer, again, if you're fighting something that has a lot of fire damage, if you're fighting something that's got a lot of water damage, you're going to be swapping your mantles around for the most relevant one. But if you're just fighting something generic and you're running Vitality Mantle, I would advise you to go for the Flawless Jewels because they increase your damage, and usually if you're running Vitality Mantle, you're not going to be losing health for the duration of the mantle. So having Flawless throughout that duration is pretty damn useful in my opinion. So anyway, when you're looking at the finalized build, you're looking at Earplugs level 5, you're looking at Critical Eye level 5, you're looking at Slugger level 5, Health Boost level 3, Critical Boost level 3, Weakness Exploit level 3, Stamina Thief level 3, which to me are 2 skills that I really like having on the hammer, the Slugger as well as the Stamina Thief. We got 2 levels of Part Breaker, which I almost want to max out that Part Breaker. Like, I know that a lot of people don't care about Part Breaker. I friggin' love it. I love cracking parts of the monsters. I find it very satisfying, so having a high percentage of Part Breaker, I personally like it. We have 1 point in latent power that comes from the Throttle Vitality deco that we have on the Shade Shvalda braces, which, by the way, I didn't mention that, but you can probably do a lot better than Throttle Vitality. I'm just kind of limited by the technology of my time. I don't have better decos, so I went with Throttle Vitality, which is where we're getting that latent power from. We got 1 level of Heroics that I really don't care for. We have Haste and Recovery, which comes with our hammer. And we also have, naturally, the set bonus, Diablos Ambition, which gives us Slugger Secret that allows us to have level 5 Slugger, which gives us stun power increase all the way up to 60%. And I find that to be extremely satisfying, and this is my hammer build. Now, as I told you guys, I'm not going after meta. I'm going after what I find fun. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to care for that. But it's like this, guys. If you want meta builds, you're better off following Team Darkside or something like that. Because even though sometimes I will dabble in meta builds, as a matter of fact, I have a build probably coming up, which is Elemental Sword and Shield. And that, I consider that to be pretty damn meta because of the set that I'm using on that build. But, you know, most of the time I try going for stuff that I find fun, and staggering monsters is what I find the most fun with the hammer. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to do a variation of this build probably at some point, and I'm going to replace that hammer with a hunting horn, which I'm still going to have to swap the build around a little bit, change a couple of things here and there, but I am going to be putting a hunting horn into this set and swapping a couple of things around to have a little bit of doot fun. Because even though, which this is something that surprises me a lot, if you go to the first wipe variants, the hunting horn has been the most unpopular weapon since the beginning of Iceborne, which just blows me away because that weapon is so much fun. And I know that I say, well, you're saying it's so much fun, but you don't actually play it, do you? Well, no, because I've been having a blast playing Gunlance, but, you know, I still think that the hunting horn is potentially one of the weapons that received the best rework of any weapon in the game right now. And I think that a lot of people are sleeping on it, and when I show you my build, I think you guys are going to be... I was thinking of a pun, but I didn't really come up with anything, so let's just say I think you guys are going to really enjoy my performance. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit it up with a like. If you didn't like it, hit it up with a dislike. If you guys usually enjoy my content, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification icon. And, you know, a couple of years from now, YouTube will probably send you a notification from me letting you know that I died or something. I don't know. Anyway, once again, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, and may your shields never break.